Alright, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Here for some more Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Today, we're going to discuss a little bit more about Future Saga Chapter 4. All we know so far is that it's going to be releasing this summer of 2026, and if we go over to the Steam page, we have the Quarter 3 window, July, August, and or September. We're going to speculate a little bit about the potential release date. Now, of course, if you just want to play it safe, then definitely expect the DLC to drop in one of these 3 months here, right? Just because that's what the Steam page says, and that's all we have to go off of so far. But technically, we could see the DLC a bit sooner, just because, as we all know, again, summer of 2026 is what they've been promoting, and June 21st is the very first day of summer. So in theory, we could technically see the DLC the earliest at the end of this month, correct? Without further ado, make sure to drop a like, turn on post notifications, subscribe if you're new around here. I'll greatly appreciate it. Now let's go over this theory that I have. We're actually going to go back to the Supreme Kai of Time theory. So for the people who aren't aware, there's been this theory for the longest time now. Whenever there's an upcoming DLC on the horizon, such as Future Saga Chapter 4, and whenever the Supreme Kai of Time tournament event starts, people speculated that we could potentially get the DLC immediately after this event ends. I made a video about that, discussing it a bit more, kind of debunking it because that's not always the case. Fast forward to today, we got the Ender 13 raid, so that's not always true. But I kind of want to entertain this theory a bit more, because if we go back to Future Saga Chapter 3, this was back in October 12th, 2025, we actually got the DLC 20 in the same month as the Supreme Kai of Time tournament event. So it happened on that day, and then we got 2 raids after the Supreme Kai of Time events, the USV Goku Black and the supervillainous Janemba, followed by the DLC. Could they be following the same pattern what they did for Future Saga Chapter 3 with the upcoming Future Saga Chapter 4 DLC? Which, mind you, I don't even know how all this began with the Supreme Kai of Time tournament events. I don't think this indicates the upcoming DLC whatsoever, but again, as I said before, I do want to entertain the original theory with this revamped theory that I'm about to be adding on, so I'm part of the problem, I guess. We already got the Supreme Kai of Time tournament event and the first raid after that, so I'm expecting the secondary raid after this Android 13 one, and potentially we could be getting the Future Saga Chapter 4 DLC after whatever this upcoming raid is. You know what I mean? So let's finally go ahead and break down this theory. First and foremost, they do these updates usually every week because a raid does last for about 7 days, but whenever there's a shorter event like this one here, which only lasts for about 2-3 days, they still update Xenoverse 2 with the upcoming events immediately after. So for example, started on the 13th, it ended on the 15th. The next day, on the 16th of October, right, they updated the game with the raid. And this one particularly ended on the 22nd, and then immediately after the 22nd, on the 23rd, they update the game with the Janemba raid, right? So let's just do the same thing for the upcoming Future Saga Chapter 4 DLC. We already have the Supreme Kai Time tournament, which ended on the 10th of June, and of course, what we just went over, they updated the game immediately after with the Android 13 raid. This started on the 11th, and it's going to be ending on the 17th. So in about 3 more days at the time of recording this video, which means immediately after, on June 18th, we should be getting that secondary raid, which is going to be lasting for 7 days. So if we go over to the calendar real quick, the second raid will begin on the 18th and will last until the 24th of June. Now, just to reiterate myself, the reason why we're only doing the 2 raids after the Supreme Kai of Time event is because that's how it went down for Future Saga Chapter 3. And we're just trying our best to mimic or follow the same pattern that DLC 20 did. So moving forward over here to the actual Chapter 3 DLC, on the 28th a day before the Janemba raid ended and before we got the actual release of Future Saga Chapter 3, that's when we got the trailer for the DLC on the 28th. That's the standard stuff because we typically get the launch trailer, free updates, and then we play the DLC contents. Now that we know that, let's go back over to Future Saga Chapter 4. Now, we know that there's going to be a secondary raid after the Android 13, following Chapter 3's pattern, and we know that's going to be ending on the 24th. And since they update the game after each event, that means the next update will be on the 25th of June. Hopefully, this is where the Future Saga Chapter 4 DLC actually drops, which does make sense because typically DLCs do drop on a Thursday, and going back to the trailer 2 days before the actual release, that will be the 23rd on Tuesday. So that's my prediction. Tuesday 23rd is when we get to the trailer, and the 25th is when we play the actual DLC. It aligns with the dots. Yup, we're just getting started. Let me explain. So why do I think that this theory could theoretically be correct? Again, this is just speculation, not confirmed. But the reasons why I feel like we could get the trailer on the 23rd of June and the DLC on the 25th is because of the first reasoning. Let's go back to the beginning of the video. Summer of 2026. The 25th of June is during summer. Summer officially begins on the 21st, so that alone already kind of makes sense, right? Now, for the second reasoning, we're going to be going over here to Geki Shin Squadra. This is something I spoke about before. They're doing a collaboration with Xenoverse 2. They're going to be releasing Ultra Super Villainous God Vegeta and Time Patrol Trunks. That's going to be happening on the 23rd of June, which, going back to my prediction, that's when I said we could potentially get the Future Saga Chapter 4 launch trailer. Wouldn't that be a cool coincidence or collab in general? Not only that, Geki Shin Squadra is dropping the Xenoverse 2 collab, but imagine if Xenoverse 2 themselves actually drops the Future Saga Chapter 4 trailer on the 23rd, on the same day. So it's like two different Dragon Ball games eaten extremely well, right? It was sus since the very beginning because Geki Shin Squadra, they announced the Xenoverse 2 character collaboration like a month or two ago, and a lot of people were wondering, wait, why are they dropping the Xenoverse 2 collaboration so late? And then when that news initially came out, I speculated back then, dude, they very well could be hinting at the Future Saga Chapter 4 release, right? So that's my second reasoning. Going over to the third reasoning I have, we're mainly going to be focusing on more of the recent DLC trailers, just because I guess that's more in line with Bandai's formula nowadays. So Chapter 2 of Future Saga and the Daima DLC, and even the Future Saga Chapter 3 DLC is what I'm mainly going to be looking at. We got the launch trailer November 19th, 2024. Dang, 2 years ago is when we got that DLC. Anyway, so we go back to November 19th. That was on a Tuesday. You see what I mean? And then right there up on screen, it says available on the 21st. 2 days on a Thursday, that's when the DLC is playable. If we go over to even the Daima DLC trailer, this came out May 20th, 2025. So we go up over here, May 20th. Again, that was on a Tuesday. And up on screen, it says the 22nd of May. Boom, on a Thursday is when we got to play the DLC. Now going back to Future Saga Chapter 3 over here, this is something I already spoke about in the first half of the video, but just to reiterate myself, we got the trailer on the 28th of October, which is on a Tuesday, and then the 30th, 2 days later, that's when we got to play the DLC on Thursday. So just another theory out there for you guys. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about all this. I know it was a bit confusing probably following along the video, so let me just do this quick brief summary of the theory once again. If we follow the Future Saga Chapter 3 pattern with Supreme Kai of Time, we have the 2 raids after that, and then the DLC. So with Future Saga Chapter 4, very well could be the same thing. We have the Supreme Kai of Time, and we got the first raid, and now we're waiting for that second raid, which they last for about 7 days. We already counted. The second raid should end on the 24th, and since they update the game immediately after the event ends, that will be the 25th with that hopeful Future Saga Chapter 4 DLC. And if the DLC does drop on the 25th, that means on the 23rd of June, that's when we potentially could get the trailer, which does already in line with the summer 2026 release window that they've been saying this entire time. And also the 23rd does in line with the Gegashin Squadra Xenoverse 2 collaboration. So it would be cool to get the collab for Gegashin Squadra and the actual launch trailer for Xenoverse 2. Right? Best of both worlds. And breaking down the previous release windows for trailers and the actual contents for the last couple of DLCs. We just went over trailers on Tuesdays, then the actual DLCs on Thursdays, which boom, 23rd Tuesday, and yeah, 25th Thursday. That's my prediction there. Again, very interesting points I had to come up with to make this theory make sense, and it's actually pretty good points if you ask me, right? It just aligns extremely well with everything else. Yeah. Do you guys think it's going to be happening at the end of June, specifically the 25th? Or should we just patiently wait for the actual release window that Steam provided for us? July, August, and or September. That'd be funny if it does come out like in one of these 3 months, which I wouldn't be surprised because the Steam page, they're rarely wrong. I know they were wrong once with the Sparking Zero DLC, how they had to cross it out and then update it with the proper release dates. But that was way before the DLC even came out, I believe. They haven't updated the Future Saga Chapter 4, so my bet is that we should probably just stop making theories and just wait until July. You know what I mean? The DLC very well could probably happen mid-July, end of July, the beginning, or maybe even August. Man, who knows? Because I definitely don't. I even mentioned before that I was going to stop doing these theories, but hey, it's too fun for me, man. It's very fun. So yeah, thank you guys for the support as always. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about this theory, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.